good evening and welcome to Wright-Patt Credit Union's 2026 Annual Business Meeting. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Holly Allen, your host. I'm also a longtime member of Wright-Patt Credit Union, and I'm excited to celebrate our credit union's progress over the past year and take a look at what's ahead. Before we begin, I want to highlight a new element in this year's meeting. As a member, you have a voice in who serves on our board of directors. To give everyone one last opportunity to participate, the board election will remain open for the next 15 minutes. If you haven't voted yet, please visit wpcu.coop/election. Your voice matters, and we appreciate you taking part. And after the formal business portion wraps up, we hope you'll stay for our live Q&A session. It's a great chance to share your questions and feedback, and we truly value hearing from you. Now, I would like to welcome our board chair, Joe Linsenmeyer, and president and CEO of Wright-Patt Credit Union, Tim Mislansky.
Thanks, Holly, and thanks for joining us again this year.
Thank you for having me.
It's been several years since you've been doing this with us. You're almost like part of the family. So good evening to everyone who's joining us. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. This is our yearly opportunity to talk to you, our members, about what we've accomplished these last 12 months and share what we have planned for the coming year. But before we dive into that, I want to take a minute and start by acknowledging the heart of who we are here at Wright-Patt Credit Union and how we show up every day. And that's our purpose. At Wright-Patt Credit Union, we start with this. We believe everyone deserves a caring financial partner who builds hope and improves well-being. This purpose guides our decisions and helps measure success. It's what makes Wright-Patt Credit Union special. It's the reason we're here, and it's why we made it our theme tonight. At the end of the day, we're your neighbors. We live in your communities. We have the same opportunities and face the same challenges you do. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Tonight we'll highlight how staying true to our purpose and our communities continues to strengthen your credit union. You'll see the big impact we're making in our neighborhoods, and you'll hear real stories from real members who've worked with us to achieve their goals. We'll also talk about our plans for the future and how we're working to make your experience even better and to support your financial well-being in the year to come. So let's get started. I'll now turn it over to Joe, who will officially begin our 2026 annual business meeting.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, and on behalf of the Board of Directors, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for being members of Wright-Patt Credit Union. To be a legal annual business meeting, our Code of Regulations requires that 0.5% of our total voting membership must be represented in person or by writing. We have already received more than 7,400 votes in our board election, well over the required voting membership representation. That quorum requirement has been met, and I declare this a legal meeting. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce your credit union board of directors and executive leadership team and thank them for joining us virtually this evening. First, our board of directors. Rachel Goodspeed, Vice Chair. Bonnie Smith, Treasurer. Charles Schau, Secretary. Nicholas Ensley, Director. David Cassidy, Director. Joe Mucci, Director. Adam Sheets, Director. Gina McFarland L., Director. And now our executive leadership team. Tim Mislansky, President and CEO. Jeff Adair, Chief Credit Officer. Molly Lampe, Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel. Chris Mirando, Chief Information Officer. Jennifer Ogden, Chief Risk Officer. Amy Riley, Chief Administration Officer. Andrea Ruiz-Rabadán, Chief Strategy Officer. Kim Riley, Chief Experience Officer. And Daniel Smith, Chief Financial Officer. Certified Public Accountant Thomas Patrick is also here this evening representing our auditing firm, Forvis Mazars, LLP. You can find our annual meeting notice for this event, including last year's meeting minutes and our 2025 annual report and financial statement online at wpcu.coop/annual meeting. Lastly, please stay on until the end of the meeting to join Tim and I for a live Q&A session. Let the record show that the minutes of the 2025 annual business meeting, as included in the annual business meeting notice, were approved by mail ballot. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Joe. With the official start of the meeting, I want to talk about some of the things we achieved in 2025 and what we have planned for you for the future. In 2025, our membership grew to over 527,000 members. This is a small 1% growth, but it's also a testament to how we continue to provide value to the communities and the members and small businesses that we serve. My member growth was a little bit slower than normal. Our total assets increased to $9.6 billion, an increase of more than 5% over the last year. That tells us two important things. One, members are choosing to put more of their savings with Wright-Patt Credit Union. And second, members are saving more money than they have in the past.
3,300 more members reached the financial well-being marker of having over $500 in their savings account this year. That's a significant jump from 2024, and that shows real progress. When members can save more, it means they're better equipped to reach their goals and handle life's emergencies. It also means your credit union can lend that money out to more people, helping them buy a home, start a business, or get them through a challenging time without having to turn to predatory lenders. Last year, we made over 127,000 loans to members for a total of nearly $3.1 billion, representing a 4% increase in dollars lent from prior year. Total loans to members grew to $6.7 billion. That growth represents real impact in our neighborhoods. In 2025, we helped more than 2,400 people buy a home, including 1,100 first-time home buyers. We also welcomed more than 3,000 new business members and put $137 million in new loans to work, providing the critical capital needed to help our local businesses grow and communities thrive.
In addition to all those numbers, we closed the year with what we call a net worth ratio of 10.74%. That's an important marker because that's what credit union regulators look at when they evaluate whether we're safe and strong and well capitalized. It's a fancy way of saying to you, our members, that your money is safe and secure here at the credit union. Our net worth is well above the 7% required to be considered well capitalized, meaning your credit union remains exceptionally strong and stable. Looking back on 2025, I'm also really proud of the way our partner employees went above and beyond to help our communities. During the government shutdown, we raised over $70,000 and collected over 6,000 food items for local food resource organizations. And throughout the year, our partners logged almost 4,800 impact hours. This is paid volunteer time our partners used to support causes that matter to them. We also hosted 37 community engagement events at our member centers. All of this was driven by our partners, not because they had to, but because they saw a need in the community and they wanted to take action. And that matters, because when we actively care about our neighbors, we make a big impact.
Tonight, we're going to see several stories illustrating that impact, starting with a young man who started his financial journey with us as a student. Here's his story.
Hi, my name's Dell. I'm 26. I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. In my free time, I like to skateboard, play some music, and I run a coffee shop in Fairborn. I've been there for about 4 years now. I think the most important thing people in my generation should know about Wright-Patt Credit Union is that there is information and people available to you. I walked in not a member. I walked in just another kid at Wright State, and someone talked to me for 2.5 hours, answered every single question I had no idea that I was bringing this much up. By the end of it, I had a plan extended 10 years beyond anything that I'd known before. Knowing that information and that the people there are available, crucial. A similar circumstance happened with my little brother where he found himself in need of financial support. He now has a brand new car thanks to Wright-Patt Credit Union. I will have owned my own home by the age of 27 because Wright-Patt Credit Union gave me that loan. Instead of balancing the checkbook day by day, I'm viewing my future week by week, month by month, year by year, because I have a plan. I have people set up to help me. No longer do I have to take things as they happen. There's just a sense of freedom that I get when I just get to get on the board and ride. Wright-Patt Credit Union has helped me. I can get on that board and I can go. And I'm free. I don't have to worry about my money. I don't have to worry about anything. All I'm worried about is that this foot goes and this foot stays and that there's not a stick in front of me and I'm gonna be all right.
You know, that's a great story. And I'm so glad we were able to teach Del about his financial future and how to be prepared for it. Maybe he can teach me how to do a skateboard or use a skateboard, but that might not end so well. You know, what really makes me feel good about that story and proud is that we help members live the life they want to live. It's why we do the work we do, whether our members are just getting started or working towards their next milestone. We're committed to helping them build hope and improve their well-being wherever they are in their financial journey. A big part of how we measure how the credit union is doing is by looking at the value we return to our members. In 2025, we paid more than $188 million in dividends, and we were able to announce an $8.3 million special dividend, giving value back to members who turn to Wright-Patt Credit Union for their everyday financial needs. Our members also saved almost $30 million in fees, and our rates and programs created an additional $240 million in direct financial benefits for our members compared to the average bank in Ohio. That's just one of the reasons why members like Joshua and Barbara trust Wright-Patt Credit Union as their financial home through every step of their journey. Let's hear their story.
It seems like at almost every juncture in our growth in our career journey, as our family has grown, when we needed a product to help us accomplish what we wanted to, for almost everyone, Wright-Patt has been the best choice.
Our journey with Wright-Patt began as a fun part of our parenting journey.
Yeah.
We had just had our second child, and we were expanding not only as a family, but also in the space that we took up in our car. Wright-Patt Credit Union came up as a preferred option, and since then we've just been very pleased with Wright-Patt and have expanded kind of how we do banking with them ever since. There's just so much opportunity to not only work with Wright-Patt as a partner in our personal lives, but then also in community together.
I serve as the senior pastor at Omega Baptist Church.
I am the Chief Development Officer at YWCA Dayton. It means a lot to be able to partner in community with someone who understands that pathways to empowerment mean more than just a service. It means just a commitment to sustainability and just freedom that a lot of families want. We trust Wright-Patt.
You guys are the reason why we're still members.
Yeah.
Because the interactions we have with you. Lots of other financial institutions do the banking side. It's the people and the connection with people that makes the impact for me.
Barbara and Joshua's story is a great example of how meaningful it can be to have a financial partner who understands you and walks with you through every stage of your journey. That same commitment to helping our members through life is what drives our work in financial education. In 2025, our teams partnered with local organizations and small businesses to bring financial learning directly into neighborhoods and community spaces, making it easier for people to build confidence one step at a time. One of those partners is Lauren, the owner of Joy Wine. Lauren is also a part of our SOAR program, which provides lending and support for local minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses. In this next video, we'll see how we've worked together to bring financial education to life in a really focused and meaningful way.
In 2025, Wright-Patt Credit Union was able to help over 5,600 community members with financial education and financial learning initiatives. And it's not just these lecture-style classes, right? We've been able to innovate and do some really cool things.
We're here at Joy Wine. We are a full bar. We do wine, beer, and cocktails. We have chef-curated small plates, and we're also a wine retail shop. Here at Joy Wine, we have a series called Night School, and at one of the events, an attendee, Randy, who's a Wright-Patt employee, mentioned that she has some ideas for a lecture that she thought would be really beneficial for the community. And we chose to host it in January, which is historically a very slow season for hospitality workers, and kind of focus this financial lecture on those people that really have to manage variable income.
We've been very fortunate to be able to help a lot of people in 2025. And of those we surveyed, 89% of them said that their financial well-being was improved in some way.
I think this says a lot about Wright-Patt's commitment on a very small level to these communities. I mean, the fact that I literally sat down and had coffee with a member of Wright-Patt and we were able to brainstorm and come up with something like this is really profound.
Being able to go out into the community, that's what Wright-Patt Credit Union's purpose is all about for me.
As a small business owner, having Wright-Patt Credit Union by my side feels amazing. Having people in the community that support you, not just financially, but through partnerships such as this event tonight, it feels like there's a vote of confidence in my abilities, my intelligence, my leadership, and that goes a long way.
You know, Tim, I can vouch for those classes. I took some financial classes with Wright-Patt Credit Union years ago, and it really did change my financial future. But I have to say, that one looked a lot more fun than the one
there
in our
probably wasn't wine at the
There was
150,
no wine.
and we may have stumbled upon something there about how to draw people in. So
I love it.
We'll see how that works going forward.
I might have to sign up for some more classes.
Yeah. So, you know, we're really proud of our financial education work because it's one of the ways we intentionally show up to meet our members and our communities where they are. That could mean creative financial education courses like the one you just saw, or it could mean supporting a local nonprofit to help them better serve the communities in ways we can't. One example of that can be seen in our partnership with Bridgeway Academy in Columbus. Here's their story.
Bridgeway Academy is a nonprofit school, and Bridgeway Therapy Center is a nonprofit therapy center here in Central Ohio. Our mission is to help children with autism in a school and a therapy center. Wright-Patt has been an amazing partner in the community for us, providing some support for our annual fundraising event, Amazeability. They've also provided volunteers from their staff to come and work at our events and in our building. They've helped to support our workforce development program. We've had a vehicle that we've worked with them to acquire through the Sunshine Community Fund for our Bridge to Adulthood transition students to be able to access the community. They've provided a board member to serve on our board of trustees and partner in that way, and just been an amazing partner in the community for us. We actually have a space in our building that was set up to be a library for our elementary and preschool students. And so with the support of Wright-Patt, now our elementary and preschool students have a place to go and read. It's just been a great way for Wright-Patt staff to come in and really be part of our mission, and then helping to transform one of our spaces at Bridgeway. We feel like the future is bright for Wright-Patt and for Bridgeway, and it's just such a great partnership that we're hopeful to continue.
Our work with Bridgeway is a great example of how we're deepening our partnerships in our communities. I want to call out something Erin mentioned in her story about the Wright-Patt Credit Union Sunshine Community Fund. This fund is the separate nonprofit charitable giving arm of Wright-Patt Credit Union, and it is one of the ways that we're putting our purpose into action. This fund works closely with local organizations to strengthen the financial security and stability of vulnerable populations across the communities we serve. In addition to raising and distributing $150,000 in grants to local nonprofits in 2025, the Sunshine Community Fund also has some big milestones this year through the Pathways to Homeownership program. Our next story illustrates exactly what that impact looks like for one of our members.
Homeownership is one of the key ways that we provoke intergenerational wealth in our communities. And so we have a responsibility as a financial institution and as a foundation that supports that institution to be a part of that trajectory. The Pathways to Homeownership initiative is a collaborative partnership between Omega Hope Center for Families, Wright-Patt Credit Union, and the Sunshine Community Fund, Learn to Earn Dayton, and County Court. And through this program, we're building homes and equipping families through education and financial resource to be prepared to not only own, but sustain those homes.
We've pledged $1.3 million to support the construction of the homes that we're building in Northwest Dayton. We also have a matching grant available for anyone who's interested in buying those homes to help towards down payment and closing costs. And then we also offer financial and home buying education for any of the residents who are interested in buying any of those homes to help them get prepared for homeownership as they come into the neighborhoods. Janice was wonderful. She was actually a participant of the first class that we held.
I love the fact that they had a homeowners course. We met once a week on Wednesdays. We went through what a mortgage is. We talked about different interest rates. We talked about all the facets of buying a home that I never really thought about. I never thought I would be a homeowner. I just assumed that that was something that was out of my league, but it has become a personal journey that I'm invested in. And the satisfaction of knowing what the end result will be has been a blessing. We only have a few homeowners in our family, and I take care of my granddaughter, and I try to model for her things that she can do and things that she can be and things that she can have. And I want to have something also to leave to her as part of my legacy. It makes me joyful. I'm dreaming about baking cookies and just laying on the couch on a Saturday morning and looking out the window. I feel great about my future. I think this is only going to get brighter. This will be the foundation that I need to continue growing.
This story and the work being done through the Pathways to Homeownership program show what an impact we can have when we give people the tools they need for their journey and we support them along the way. It's what we believe in, and it's what we're going to keep doing as we look towards the rest of 2026. As we think about 2026, I thought I would share some plans with you for how we're going to support our communities even more, along with you, our members. So here's what's coming. First of all, it's one of the most common questions I get asked: where are you going to build a member center next, or where's the next member center coming? I'm excited to share with members that we have a new member center in Tip City that's going to open this summer, and we also have an additional one in Whitehall planned for early 2027. I also want to share that we're committed to making it a major priority for your credit union to remove friction from your daily banking, to deliver better experiences. So we're exploring enhancements to our digital tools and our credit card program to make it even easier for you to do business with us. And we're working with some exciting updates to our reward program, including one that will allow members to receive cash back on the purchase of digital gift cards. Behind the scenes, we're working to simplify processes for our partner employees through thoughtful, safe use of automation and artificial intelligence. We're focused on making their jobs easier so they can spend more time doing what matters most, helping you. And finally, as fraud continues to evolve and become prevalent, we're investing in some new tools and technology to enhance our protections to safeguard you, our members, and your accounts. I'm incredibly proud of the difference we made in 2025. With deep roots in the communities we serve and a clear purpose leading the way, Wright-Patt Credit Union stands strong because of the collective power of our cooperative. Thank you again for being here tonight and for choosing to be a part of Wright-Patt Credit Union. Now I'm going to turn things back over to Joe to wrap up the 2026 annual meeting with the Board of Director results.
Thank you, Tim. As we bring the 2025 annual meeting to a close, we're pleased to announce that the following individuals were elected by the membership by mail and electronic ballots to serve 3-year terms on the Board of Directors. Rachel Goodspeed, Gina McFarland L., and Bonnie Smith. Congratulations to our newly elected directors. We look forward to building hope and improving well-being together. With the official business of the annual business meeting concluded, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you to everyone involved in making our annual election and business meeting a success. We're grateful for your time, effort, and dedication.
Thank you, Joe. And now that the official business meeting is over, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the meeting. That's the Q&A. Some of our members submitted questions prior to the meeting, so we'll start with those. But if you have a question, please submit it using the chat box on the right side of your screen. If you don't see that box, just press the blue chat button. If we're not able to get to your question tonight, a member of the Wright-Patt Credit Union team will follow up with you after the meeting. But for now, we'll get to that first question. So the question is, there's a feature in an app that I have for another financial institution that I like. How can I send that in as an idea to WPCU?
Yeah. So first of all, that's a great idea. And we love feedback from our members. You know, this place is a member-owned financial cooperative. What the members want and need are things that we listen to all the time. Sometimes maybe we don't move as fast as the members would like, but that feedback matters to us. So there's a very simple way to do it. Go to our website. I believe it's near the bottom of the page is a contact us. There's a place where you can submit a question or ask a question and just share your feedback that way.
Okay.
You know, in addition to that, I think it's important for the members to know that we're conducting focus groups with small groups of members throughout the year. That's something we restarted late last year, early this year to get more feedback from members and get more of their input into their credit union. And then on top of that, we send surveys to members throughout the year, and literally thousands of surveys go out. Not thousands to the same member, but thousands of members receive surveys during the course of the year.
Okay.
I'd love to get more than a 10 or a 20% response rate on those, because that feedback matters to us, and it helps drive what we do as a purpose-led organization. So I'd encourage members, when you get something in an email from us asking for your feedback, share it, because we read those comments and they help drive where we're going in the future.
Okay, that sounds good. Lots of options for you to provide your feedback, so watch for those surveys. So our next question is, what is WPCU's biggest strategic concern? I think this might be a question for you, Joe.
Yes, well, I think the biggest strategic concern is the changing of the world. Lots of things are changing. Consumers' wants and needs, expectations are changing rapidly. And we have limited resources, and we need to have good strategic insight to allow us to prioritize and target the greatest needs first. For example, what's the best way to implement AI? How can we use it to meet the needs of our members, and how can our partners use it such that they can do their jobs more efficiently and better and produce more? So it's about helping us understand the services and tools that people need and value. And what I'd say is, Tim talked a lot about feedback. I think this theme runs through a lot of this is, give us your feedback. Let us know what's important to you, and we can roll that into our thinking about how we do certain things to make your life as a member better.
Okay, that's great. Let's see, our next question. It is, a lot of people are using things like Zelle or other instant pay apps. Are you looking at anything like that to make things easier for members?
Yeah, we certainly are. I'll admit, and we know that payments from one person to another, I go out to dinner with somebody pays the bill, I owe them half the money, are much more commonplace today than they were 5 or 10 years ago. We have a peer-to-peer payment tool, but it needs some work. It's a little antiquated. So we have been looking at options there. And what I would share with members is that we're looking at this from a broader standpoint. So not just can we offer Zelle to members, but how do we help members move money easier and faster with fewer points of friction in it. So certainly on that roadmap is person-to-person payments or peer-to-peer payments. Also payments if you need to send money to another financial institution, say you have an investment account at the broker and you need to move money there, or you have a car loan somewhere else, But if you have a car loan somewhere else, I'd also encourage you to talk to a financial coach and see if we can refinance it and save you money. But moving money between institutions is on that roadmap. And then a third thing that's on that roadmap is some of our members may be aware that the government has passed some laws around what's called stablecoin.
Okay.
And stablecoin is very different than cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, sometimes people hear that and they get a little bit nervous. That's not what we're talking about. Cryptocurrency has a lot of volatility to it. Stablecoin is exactly what the word says it is. It's meant to be stable. And that's going to become a more common way for consumers to make payments over the next 5 and 10 years. So your credit union is starting to look at that and just understand it so that we can be prepared when that becomes more mainstream. So back to the original, yes, we're certainly looking and contemplating how we can bring a better peer-to-peer or person-to-person payment system, but it's even broader than that.
Okay. I always love how you give us a peek behind the curtain of what's going on and what we can expect in the future. So thank you. So our next question is, we saw the board election results tonight, which, Joe, you just announced the results of that. The question is, but how does the board work? How are board meetings handled? Can I attend them in person? And what's the role of the board when it comes to representing members?
Well, as a cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members, and the board is a representative of those members. So it's a representative of the member owners. The board is made up of 9 members, and we'll be adding some associate directors in the near future. The board plays several roles. The most important role of the board is making sure that we are legal and fiduciary responsibility is upheld, and to protect owners' assets and ensure the credit union is financially sound with appropriate safety reserves. In addition, the board members are engaged in a wide variety of duties: vision, mission, statement, strategies, selecting the CEO, and making sure that the credit union is running according to federal, state laws and regulations. Because at the end of the day, if we're not protecting our members' money and providing them the services that they want, we're not doing our job, and the board wants to make sure that that's what we're doing.
I think, did you address whether they could attend meetings?
Oh, no, thank you. Unfortunately, we talk about a lot of confidential information at our board meetings, and we have limited space. So there really is not practical or, in many cases, appropriate to have people come to the meetings. However, as we've said several times, if someone wants to have feedback on what's going on, they should let us know through the processes we've talked about.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Joe. Our next question, the credit union is growing fast, as we've talked about tonight. As a longtime member, I'd like to know how you will make sure members still get the personal support we're used to, and you won't turn into a big bank. Tim?
So we spent a fair amount of time talking about that throughout the organization, certainly at the executive level, also in collaboration with the board, because none of us want to see that happen. We think what we have here is pretty special in the way Wright-Patt Credit Union does things and the way we focus on service. And so I think it's important for members to understand how we think about this place. You know, we're a financial institution, just like another credit union, just like a bank, whether it's a community bank or a big national brand bank. We all offer generally the same financial products. But what we really think about, what we do here at Wright-Patt Credit Union, is we take care of people. We're a service business, and we just happen to use financial products like a mortgage or a checking account or any one of the many products we offer as one of those tools to take care of people. And so that's this underlying belief that runs through Wright-Patt Credit Union. And then the other thing that I want to share with members about this in terms of how we think about this place and how we operate and how we make decisions is we have what we call a 3-stakeholder model. And those stakeholders are the members, because they own the institution, the employees, because their livelihoods to some degree depend on this place. This is where their paychecks come from. And then the credit union itself, because as Joe mentioned, it needs to be well-run, operationally sound, financially secure. And as we make decisions, we really try to balance those 3 stakeholders. We could certainly make decisions that the members would love, like we're going to double all our deposit rates. Members would be really excited about that.
Excited about that.
But to do that, the credit union might need to lose money, and that's not a good situation. Or we might need to say to the employees, we got to cut your salary by 20%. You know, for any employees watching, we're not doing that. But you can kind of see how we do that. But again, the real focus is on how we take care of all the stakeholders, including the members. And one last illustration there, just from a philosophical about our management theories, so to speak here, is that we talk about this circle at the credit union. And the circle goes like this. We ask our employees to take better care of members than anybody else does. And in return, what we know happens is that those members will take better care of the credit union. And what I mean by that is you tell your family and your friends, you should go do that at Wright-Patt Credit Union. They help me. And we grow because of that. And that's why we've grown. You know, I've been here as an employee for almost 25 years. We had about 150,000 members when I started. And now there's over 500,000.
Wow.
And when we grow, that means members give us more resources to do more things with. We can build more member centers. We can provide better technology tools. We can add more fraud protections. We can provide another benefit to employees in their medical plans, so to speak. And it just becomes this circle. Take better care of the members will take better care of us. And then from there, the credit union can take better care of members and employees.
Yeah. Well,
So hopefully that helps the member who asked that question, because it's important to us. We know we're different and we believe we're special, and that's kind of our secret sauce to success.
Yeah, I love that. And you can see it in the relationships and the stories that we highlighted tonight as well. Thanks, Tim. Our next question is, as we get closer to the end of the school year, we're starting to think about college for my high school student. What does the credit union do to help parents and students prepare for the cost of college, Tim?
So I know that's a growing challenge for families.
Sure is.
College gets more and more expensive, faster than the rate of inflation does, faster than wages grow. And unfortunately, some families look at that and have a real challenge with it. So there's a couple things that we do here at Wright-Patt. One of them starts with, not surprisingly, education. We have someone on staff who is a student loan coordinator. They do seminars during the course of the year, some of them in person, some of them virtually. I believe we have a live Q&A coming up at the end of May. I think it's May 27th.
Okay.
You can check the website for the exact date, time and location and all of those things. But really that fundamental education. And then there's two parts to it. You know, some families are at that moment where I've got a senior, they're going to go to school next year. How am I going to pay for it? Some families maybe I've got a 4-year-old and I don't want to be in a situation when they're ready to go to college that I haven't prepared. We can help with both. And what I encourage members to do, as always, is give us a call, stop into a member center and talk to one of our financial coaches, because we have programs, including loan programs, including savings programs, that can really help members prepare for college, regardless of how old your kid is or where they want to go to school.
All right, sounds good. Stop in the member center and talk to someone. That's always the first stop. Thanks, Tim. Our next question is, we said that this question comes up a lot, and here it is again. Where will you be building new member centers in the future? Joe, I'll let you take a crack at that one.
Yes, we do get asked that a lot, and Tim mentioned the two coming up earlier, Tip City and Whitehall. And let me give you a little color in how we decide where we put a new member center. So we don't have infinite money, and we have to be selective about where we put member centers and how many we put up. So if you think about the 3 stakeholder model, we know that the membership would like more convenience and would like more member centers that are closer to them, obviously. But we have to have the staff that can support that, and we have to have the ability to do all of the work to put them up. But even with those two things, not that the employee versus or the partner versus the member is a disconnect, it's a matter of just, do you have the resources in terms of partners to do it? But then it has to be a good business decision. So is it a good business decision? Are we going to make a profit? Because if the credit union isn't profitable, we can't do all of the good things that we'd like to do. So that leads to kind of the strategic decision making. So you have to look at it strategically. We need to grow because growth allows us to generate more money that we can use to put back into the community, generate more products and services, hire more employees, do all the things that we want to do to make our communities better places to live. And so it's a matter of looking at growth areas such as Columbus. We want to grow in Columbus. We have been growing in Columbus, and so it's important for us to put more member centers there to reach the critical mass that we want to achieve in that market. So that's where the Whitehall Member Center comes in. But we're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. We have the greater Dayton area, which we care a great deal about, and there are still needs here, and that's where the Tip City Member Center comes in. So we're trying to service both areas, but make sure that we're meeting our strategic requirements.
Mm-hmm. Good. I know you're always looking far out at what's in the future, so thanks for that little background information. Our next question is, how do you help members figure out everything that goes into home buying? Things like the different ways to finance a home and how to know what kinds of help or options might make the most sense. Tim, that sounds like a question for you.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite questions because some members know this, most don't, but when I started here at the credit union, I was heavily involved in the mortgage lending that we did. And no one really wakes up one day and says, hey, I want a mortgage. What they wake up and say is, I want to be a homeowner.
Right.
And homeownership is such a meaningful, impactful thing for Americans still today. It's harder to buy a home today than it's been before for a variety of different issues. But it's really impactful. It can help create wealth. You can have intergenerational transfer of wealth as people pass that down to their kids. It creates safer communities when people are homeowners. And there's this sense of pride in family and home that comes with home ownership. So we work really hard at those things, and I'm really proud of what we do there. And there's a couple things I would add for members. One, we have a litany of products and services. There's lots of options, whether it's your first home or you're refinancing and trying to save money and lower your payment or pay off your mortgage earlier, or you're looking to upsize, or maybe you're a little bit older in life and looking to downsize because we helped you pay for your kids to go to college. But regardless of it, again, it starts with our people. We've got nearly 30 people on staff who are expert mortgage originators. They work with members every day to help them pursue that American dream of home ownership. And they're skilled at what they do, and they spend a lot of time educating and teaching members about the home ownership process. And you saw some of that in the video there. So, I feel really good and I'm really proud about what we can do. But if I'm giving members really direct advice, one would be set aside some money and have a regular savings plan to help build your down payment. And then the second would be your credit matters. Mm-hmm. So be careful about running up credit cards. Be careful about making payments late. Pay your bills on time. And all of those things will help you build a good credit score, which is really crucial to becoming a homeowner.
Okay, good advice. Thank you. You want to grab some water
Yeah,
while we go to the next question? It's live, so it happens. And we are actually on our last question of the night. So this is a great chance for you, Tim. Our last question is for both of you, Tim and Joe. The question is, in your roles here as president and CEO and as chairman of the board, what are you most proud of?
So for me, that's easy. And I generally give the same answer every year. The words are a little bit different. But it's the people. There's nearly 1,500 people who choose to work here, and I tell them that all the time. I recognize it's a choice that you come to work at Wright-Patt Credit Union. Nobody makes you work here. You wake up in the morning, and whether you consciously realize it or not, you choose to work for us. And I know that the people who work for us choose to work for us because they feel good at the end of the day about what they're able to do, the impact that they're able to make. We saw all those stories tonight that people can get emotional about because we change lives. We do that every day. And most of the stories don't get the headlines like these videos do, but the stories circulate internally. We celebrate the stories. We congratulate the employees, but they do that every single day. And they're things that we could never write in a job description. Because I'm really amazed sometimes when I hear some of the stories like, wow, we did that, or this employee went to that degree to take care of the member. We just have such good people who work here, who care deeply about what we're able to do, who are passionate about it, who care about this organization, who care about each other, and who want to be successful. And so one of the biggest parts of my job is to really work towards that point in our vision statement that says we want to be the best place people have ever worked. And so, when it comes down to it, that's a really long answer to short word, but it's the people who choose to work here and the work that they do. I'm just so proud of that every day.
Yeah, we can see the pride in you for sure. I love hearing the stories about how your team members pull through. So thanks. Joe, what are you most proud of?
Well, I want to second what Tim said about the people. What I'd add to it is the results that those people achieve and the things that they do. And throughout this presentation tonight, you saw story after story of things that were done for the people in our communities. And that's the result of the work of those people. And so I'm really proud of that. It makes me feel good about, coming here and doing this. And, just an example of one other thing, there's been the government shutdowns in the fall and now. So there have been some people in our community that have been affected by that. And we have programs to help people in those situations. So there are loans that they can get if they just need to come to a member center and talk to somebody if they're in that situation. But that's like one of the things that we do and all the other examples that we've had. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I think it's important. Hopefully the other members feel this way. I know I do. It's important to bank with a credit union that it cares about the community and does good things for our neighbors. And we all, as you said, we all live in the same area. We're all neighbors, so we take care of each other. So thank you both. Well, thank you for your answers tonight, your candid answers. I really appreciate it. If other questions were submitted that we weren't able to get to, a member of the Wright-Patt Credit Union team will reach out to you. We'll get you an answer to your question. And there will also be a survey link that pops up on your screen after the meeting tonight. And we would love to hear your thoughts about the meeting tonight, what you liked, and what we could do to improve for next year. So please make sure you take a few moments to fill that out.
Yeah, so Holly, I want to thank you for joining us again tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
You do such a great job keeping Joe and I online and keeping the meeting
You make it
moving.
easy. It's an easy job.
Yeah, making the meeting move all along. And I want to thank the members who joined us tonight. As I said earlier, there's over 500,000 people in small businesses, which we don't take for granted, that so many people choose us. And we've got a commitment and an obligation to deliver to them. So I appreciate the members having the confidence and trust that they do in us. And as we've said multiple times, and kind of a theme tonight, that we love to hear from members. Tell us what we're doing well, and we even love to hear where maybe we're falling short, because it gives us the opportunity to get better. So again, thank you, Holly, thank you, Joe, and thank you to the members, and have a good evening.
Thank you.